Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're taking a look at a little Earth Rune deck. It's a variation of one that I've seen around. It's only a variation because I don't have 2 Abominations, I don't have 3 Magic Founder, and I don't have 2 Silverblade. If you were going to run this deck, I would recommend that you run all those basically as extras. Just add 1 to each legendary that you don't already have 3 of and you will be right. Of course, I am running Beast-Faced Mage in replacement of that because Beast-Faced Mage is just pretty okay. I mean, the opponent usually wants to trade with it, which is good. Either removing it through spells, removing it normally, either way, get some nice value out of that one. And it combos nicely with our potential Silverblade and our other Earth Sigil effects, which isn't too bad at all, although I probably would test some other cards in that slot in the future. So, other than that, we're running it pretty standard. I mean, Mysteria is actually probably the thing I use the most. I actually never got to actually use the Silverblade Golem, but that's probably only because I have 1, so it's definitely more of a good tech option. And as far as Abomination goes, it's another card that's more of a good tech option. It's just there to clear boards as well as stuff of Whirlwinds, so it's just kind of that extra that really adds to this deck. I'm sure with 2 of each, I think you could do a lot better, and I would recommend it, but as this deck stands, Mysterio Magic Founder is the core, and everything else kind of helps support that. So we're going to get right into this video and check it out. So our first game is against Blood.
Time to shine, Daria.
Blood is pretty okay to fight. I mean, they usually hit themselves pretty hard, which means our spells don't really need to do much damage to actually win the match, which is really good in our favor, so why not take him down?
My home.
So Spiderweb Imp deals a little bit of damage. That's pretty okay to them, especially since we've got a pretty nice hand here. I mean, we've already got a Founder, we have plenty of good spells, we have an okay Earth Sigil, and we already got our 2/2 out. Fortunately, they did remove the Snarling Chains, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. So with the Magic Missile and the Mysterium Missile, saving the Mysterium Missile is usually the better option for me, just because you can combo that off with the, I forgot what it's called, but the Mysteria buff card, other than Mysteria Magic Founder, of course, the other one that allows you to actually ping extra damage. So at this stage, really just trying to get as much as we can set up here. We can use our Vols pretty well. We are going second, so we do have that extra Evo. So using 1 isn't always the worst situation if you're in a spot like this. Turn 5 is pretty much a guaranteed Magic Founder. We can get that out pretty easily, provided our opponent doesn't do anything too crazy. And that should set up our future turns very, very nicely. Starseer's Telescope is a great way to remove this card, which gets us a follower. I actually really like that that's the way that works. I wouldn't have it any other way. There it is. Our Founder going off. With 2 Founders in our hand though, we are going to be able to do pretty massive damage if we can get both of those onto the board. Being able to add +2 to every single spell is amazing. Of course, our opponent is going for a Goblin and a Dark General, obviously just trying to set up a potential counter. Not removing this Mysteria though is probably the biggest mistake they could have possibly made. I am forced though to pretty much deal with that as immediately as possible, which isn't really a problem, as we are going to set them down to 5, which is right within lethal range in the next turn with Chain Lightning and Magic Missile, and I don't see them taking us out in the next turn.
Time for fun and games.
There's the Demonic Officer.
After all.
Definitely not going to take us out, so this is going to be our victory off the Chain Lightning and the Magic Missile. Don't even need the Magic Founder at this point to go down again. And closing the game nicely on turn 7. Okay, its second match is against Sword. Sword is still quite powerful in rotation, so it's not surprising that we run into it. I mean, both Blood and Sword are probably quite strong decks still. There are just so many decks around at the moment in the tier 1 to 2 range that are extremely powerful decks now. I mean, Tenko is being listed as tier 2, although I probably would still consider it a tier 1, even though it is a little bit of a high roll deck. And our hand is pretty decent. Again, getting the Magic Founder in the early hand is always a nice way to do things, and Beastface Mage really does help out with stuff like Halo Golem. Especially when they are playing Lancer, which guarantees us to get this nice little Earth assistance into our hand. Of course, unless we get a 2-drop, we don't have much to play, but Mysterious Knowledge is a good way to go. Getting that Mysterious Missile ready for the Mysterious Wormnest, which is the card I was thinking of earlier, which when on 6, you play it, you get to choose one, and choosing the damage effect is usually what you want with this deck. And there is our Staff of Whirlwinds, another great card, especially against Sword of all classes. Sword just doesn't stand up well to massive board clears, and thanks to Magic Founder, Staff of Whirlwinds is just one of those massive clears.
You are done for.
Of course, these magical marksmen are a little annoying, so I do have to consider reasonably carefully how I want to play this.
Let me share my wisdom.
But the Magic Founder, of course, is guaranteed. It's just a matter of where I attack. Getting the 2/2 is the best option, as I believe we don't get killed by the spell, Fatal Spell Bomb, which would really hurt. So they pretty much have to use this 4/4 to kill this, or they would have had to use something else from their hand. And I mean, since they're going for Support Cannon, they definitely made the right choice for that turn. But we do get to play our Black Worm out pretty easily, which does give us these 2 Mysterious Missiles, which are going to be pretty great, both dealing 4 damage to the face and 4 damage to something on board. And there is their cannon plays, and a Fatal Spell Bomb. That was pretty expected, honestly, and Staff of Whirlwinds is going to clean this up and deal a little bit of damage to the face, while allowing us to play our Witch's Cauldron out. And thanks to Chain Lightning, Mysterious Missiles, and a Wizard of Oz, we can actually go for all of those next turn.
In the name of glory.
And it looks like we're probably going to need them against this.
Ouch. It won't be long now.
So, Holy Bear Knight, going for that Evo on it. Probably not the way I would have went, knowing that I have at least a Mysterious Missile with a buff on it. Of course, they might not be expecting that, just forgetting that that's what I have. So the Evo on the 4/5 Wizard is great to clear the 2/6. We use a missile to clear the 4/4. We use another missile to get rid of Hedgehog, because I'd much rather leave them 2/2 up in this case. And then we basically just Chain Lightning the face, putting us very close to lethal.
You wouldn't.
So only 3 damage off. Which does mean Chain Lightning is lethal, but they will most likely remove this 6/5, or just concede. I mean, that is another option. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. This deck is pretty average, honestly. I think with the additional legendary changes, you could definitely make it better. And just to reiterate those again, it is 1 extra bomb, 1 extra Magic Founder, 1 extra Silverblade, and the complete removal of Beastface Mage for anyone that is interested. But fun deck. It's definitely something that you could play pretty reasonably. It's definitely not the cheapest deck by any means. It does run quite a few legendaries now, especially for a rune deck of all decks, but I mean, give it a go if you got the cards. Definitely worth a shot, and I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hit the like button and subscribe. You'll find the deck list in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.